Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. So like I was just saying, it's a beautiful day out today in Fairfield County. I hope everyone had a wonderful day. My name is Maria Wofford. I am one of the co-leads for the Fairfield County Tableau user group. I introduced my other co-leads of the group. We have Adam Ware, Monish Swaro, and Kathy Shi, and you will be hearing from all of them shortly. We are very excited for this meeting because we're introducing a hackathon, our very first dashboard hackathon. And please feel free to ask questions, or you could type them in the chat or interrupt however you feel. And we just like to keep our meetings pretty much open and free and interactive. All right. With that said, I guess a couple of other things. Oh, sorry, Marisha, I want to go through the agenda.
Sorry.
That's okay. For this meeting, we're going to talk about what's new in Tableau, the hackathon, which I just mentioned, and the future events, and a little bit of ways that you can actually get in touch with us. And at the end, we have Q&A. All right, I'll take it away. Monish, thank you very much.
Sure. I'll pass it on to Kathy to take us through some of the new features that have been added in 2021.1. Kathy?
Thanks, Monish. So in this 2021.1 release, Tableau actually has touched all different areas like AI-powered analytics, data preparation, connecting to data, authoring and new licensing improvements, and also new metrics, and also new connectors to data and data management. And we're going to highlight those topics specifically in the orange circle boxes in our later presentation. Let's move forward. Let's start with the AI-powered analytics first. So to be honest with you guys, I'm super excited about this new predictive functionality that Tableau finally brings to us through Einstein Discovery. I was super excited when we had the TC20, when they released, they're going to embed with Einstein Discovery. Because this integration actually has been done in 3 different ways, and this can deliver powerful predictive insights directly to people where they see and understand the data. And the first integration is the dashboard extension, which you can access the real-time predictions in Tableau dashboard. I'll go a little bit further with that later. And the second is the analytics extension, which simply is a table calculation that you will bring the previous syntax to the create calculated field to have the prediction embedded in the table. And the third is you can add predictions to your data sets in your Tableau prep. So let's first start with Einstein Discovery. So for some people who are not familiar with Einstein Discovery, actually Einstein Discovery is a code-free tool that helps you to uncover relationship between a business relevant outcomes and the explanatory variables that are potential influence of that outcome. So you can use the Einstein Discovery stories to analyze the data in Einstein Analytics dataset, and that the story kind of performs a comprehensive and provide the statistical analysis of your data powered by statistics, AI, and machine learning. And the story totally built for you and code-free, although you can still customize the model if you want to have more advanced model in place as well. So this next please. So we know the Einstein Discovery was purely in Salesforce, but now with this extension, we can embed this Einstein Discovery's feature in our Tableau dashboard. So this is really an easy build and deployed integrated predictive model into your organization workflow for you to better make your decision. And you can see if you click this Einstein sign here, it will show you the predictions of that data points that you selected, and also will provide more insights. Manish, will you be able to click the GIF to play?
Which one, Kathy?
Yeah, this one, the operation overview and order trends, to let it play.
Yeah, it's taking me to the next screen.
Okay. Then yeah, this is just trying to show you, like, if you click that, once you build your dashboard and you click that Einstein extension added there, it will provide you the prediction. And for this extension, in order to have this for you to use, it does require 2021.1 version, and also requires additional Einstein Discovery licenses for all who will predictions. If I remember correctly, is $25 per user to add on to your Tableau license. And this feature is available in Tableau desktop, server, and online. Next, please. And the next integration is Einstein in Tableau calculation. Similarly, like the extension, this one you also available in Tableau desktop and server. However, this is not available in online right now. It will come available to us in 2021.1 release. So this embedded prediction in Tableau workbook by pasting generated like table calculation scripts from Einstein Discovery into the calculated fields in Tableau. And if you can see in the screen here, you can bring in parameters, data fields in real time, and also produce the prediction score. Next, please. So this is a Tableau prep improvement. So like I said earlier, you can have the score. If you click, will it show our the predictions for the Salesforce? If you click, will it show up? Yes. So the Predictor Profit is where you can add your prediction to your data. And if you click next, yeah, you can see you added the prediction. And after that, you select the prediction definition and you select that I want to predict. And then the top predictors, how many you want to include. And also you can match with your Einstein Discovery's model, like category. If you have named it differently, you can have the mapping as well. And after that, you will be able to add your predictions in your data set. And the next improvement for the Tableau prep is now you finally will be able to output your flow directly to Microsoft Excel. Previously, you had to take CSV format and convert it to Excel. Now you don't have to do that extra steps. You can just generate the Excel output. And another additional feature that added to the Tableau prep is it added this support for the incremental refresh with Salesforce connector. As people are using more and more Salesforce data, this feature can be really coming handy for you to save a lot of performance. And the next feature is the in-product extension gallery. Previously, if you want to download an extension like Einstein Discovery extension, you have to go to the extension gallery and download the extension from there. And sometimes people just don't know where to go, and it kind of confuse which one is the one that I want to use, and don't know what kind of extension available for us. So by this release, you actually have this in-products extension gallery. By simply drag your extension to your dashboard, this window here will pop up. And you can see, you can search Einstein Discovery in the search bar, and it will pops up, and you just click that Einstein Discovery, that this extension will be delivered for you. And you can have multiple, like all the different extensions searched by here. And also, if you have some extensions built by yourself, you can click the My Extensions there to retrieve it from there as well. So next is the Ask Data. So there are two types of improvement on Ask Data. One is you can click the information icon, right? When you previously you only have Ask Data, but now you have this information icon right on the left side of Ask Data. Once you click that information icon, it will bring the pop-up guides window to navigate Ask Data. Like you can click Setup Guides, it will provide some guidelines. And if you click Online Help, it will direct you to a website, have the documents like what is Ask Data and Q&As regarding Ask Data. And you also can click Usage Analytics, and I find that one, it could be really helpful, because once you click the Usage Analytics, you can be able to see what questions the user has been asked the most frequently, and also who has asked the most question using the Ask Data feature. And also you can see the fields that people are questioning. So for example, lots of people asked the order date, then the top field will list order date as the top field. So this can help you to better improve your Ask Data, maybe to create more similar words, so people can have more ability to search for some questions. And another feature here is you can actually provide feedback now regarding the Ask Data. Directly click here. So Tableau can improve in the future release regarding Ask Data. A second improvement for the Ask Data is it provides you a better control on what fields are indexed. So this control actually helps us to improve the usability of query interpretation in Ask Data. The performance of our Ask Data can be improved heavily by choosing which field can be indexing and which field cannot be indexed. So you may, if for some people are not using this feature before, you may confuse about like what are you mean by indexed. So if, for example, if I select the city and I said, I deselect this index field values from the value indexing, that means I don't want people to ask the data regarding my city data or regarding the person. Once I deselect that function, when you ask the question, for example, what was like the average sales in New York City? The Ask Data now will be confused because you already removed that indexing from the Ask Data. So for Ask Data to answer that type of question, you have to index your city field. Previously, all the data fields in your data set are by default all indexed, but now you have the ability to choose to remove that index ability. So for example, I don't want people to ask, is Kathy made the most sales last year. If I want to remove that functionality, I just to check this index field values in the person, then they cannot ask that type of question. But the data is still in your data set. They just, when they use the ask data functions, they won't be able to ask that type of question. However, they can still ask which person had the largest sale in 2019. It's just, you cannot specifically call out like how many, like on average Cassie made last year. Okay, so next, Manish will continue on the new features regarding connecting data.
Sure. Thanks, Kathy, for walking us through those features. So continuing from where Kathy left, in every single release, we see Tableau adding more and more functionalities and more connections for us to be able to create visualizations. They do it for the Tableau desktop. They also add certain things for Tableau Online and Tableau Server. So in 2021.1, they have added a few additional connections for us to be able to connect to these connections directly from Tableau Online or Tableau Server. So the 4 that we have highlighted here, these are the 4 new ones that they have added as part of 2021.1 release. So we always had a few database connections from Amazon, but this time around, if we wanted to use Tableau Server and connect to Amazon Athena, they've added that functionality also here. So what we need to do is we need to type in the URL to connect to Amazon Athena, pass on the credentials, and we should be able to connect to Amazon Athena and read the tables from there. So that's a new thing that they have added. And similar to that, they have also added a connection with Apache Drill. So if we are dealing with, let's say, a Hadoop database or a NoSQL database, then you can use this new connection from your Tableau server or Tableau Online. And by passing the information that is required and having the drivers installed, you should be able to connect to your Hadoop environment or your NoSQL databases also using this new connections. Similar to that, they have also added OData. So if you were dealing with, let's say, some open data protocol or REST APIs, and you wanted to use Tableau Online or Tableau Server and connect to those REST API environments and then read the data from REST API by making some calls, now Tableau has added that ability as well. So you can go to OData, connect to the REST API, pass your credentials and everything that will be required, and then you should be able to read the data from REST API also. In addition to these 3, there is one more connection that they have added is for SharePoint lists. So oftentimes we have to read some information, some maybe Excel spreadsheets or other things from a SharePoint as well. Earlier, we were not able to do that from Tableau Server, Tableau Online, but now going forward, we have the ability to even connect to SharePoint by just passing the URL that you want to connect to. You might need to install a driver for SharePoint lists, but it still allows you to be able to type in the URL and go to a specific place from where you can read the data and then build your visualization on top of that. So that's what they have added on the side of web connected data sources. And similar to that, they have also connected, they have also added a connection to Azure database. So earlier, we were not able to connect to Azure database prior to 2021.1 release, but starting from 2021.1 release, they've also added an ability to be able to connect to Azure directly using Azure Active Directory. Now, it's not only the Azure SQL database that we can connect to, they have also added an ability for us to talk to Azure Data Lake or Azure Synapse or even Azure Databricks. So these are some of the new things that they have added. And since a lot of our clients are moving to cloud platform, Azure being one of the leaders there, it is really cool feature for us to be able to have that connectivity and be able to build nice dashboards and visualizations on top of that. Next up is the level of detail calculations. So all of us must have used LOD calculation, and personally, I like this LOD calculation a lot because it gives you different ways to look at your data sources and play around with the granularity of the data that you are dealing with. So they always had this feature, and what they have done is they have made a modification on that. So earlier we were looking at a dimension and a measure, and then just trying to understand what could be a potential LOD calculation. We were typing in some syntaxes based on that. But what Tableau has done, starting from 2021.1 release, is that you can choose a specific dimension and a measure that you want to create your level of detail calculation on. And then by selecting those two fields, a dimension and a measure, you can just do a right click and create a LOD calculation right there and then. So you don't have to worry about the syntaxes. Tableau will automatically understand what sort of LOD calculation you may be looking at, and then it will create a fixed calculation with the syntaxes and everything, which obviously you can customize. If that is not the same field that you want to see in your LOD calculation, you can obviously play around with that and change it, but it gives you a platform to be able to create your level of detail calculation. So I think this is a really cool feature that they have added starting from 2021.1 release. Next up, about the notifications. So all of us must have been getting notifications from Tableau, either with respect to a comment being added or your name being referenced there, or maybe even the data extract refreshes that we do on Tableau servers, right? What Tableau has done this time around is they have connected all the notifications, the different types of notifications, and they have placed them in one unified notification center. So on the left side, as you can see, this is a single place where all the notifications that you will be getting from Tableau with respect to schedules, with respect to data extract refreshes, or somebody trying to reach out to you for a question, all that will be part of this notification center. And then you have the action menu to pick and choose whatever action you want to take on that specific notification. Along with that, Tableau has also given us an ability. So if you didn't want to see those notifications coming in your email, you just wanted to read it from Tableau. So you can pick and choose that going to the next preferences menu here. As you can see, the one that has a blue box around it, you can choose whether you want it on Tableau directly or you want some of the notifications via email. So it gives you that liberty to pick and choose whether you want Tableau or via email, all the notifications to come to you. Okay. So they have made some additional modifications on licensing also. So they have introduced a new feature or a new mechanism for us to be able to make some changes directly from server. So it's called authorized to run ATR option. It's like an opt-in function. So if you have opted in for ATR, then as long as your Tableau servers are connected to internet, you should be able to go there and make some changes without having to go through any hardware changes or without having to reboot your server. So the only criteria that is required is you should have opted in for ATR and your Tableau server should always be connected to internet. And then you can activate your products. You can do a bunch of activities directly from your server that way. And along with that feature, they have also added another cool thing. So earlier we were waiting for maybe up to an hour for our changes to take effect. So if there were like new licenses that we were adding or updating, for those new licenses to take effect, we were waiting for up to an hour earlier because we had to sometimes restart our server and only then the changes will take effect. But going forward, we will almost have zero downtime. So we would not have to wait for an hour. All these changes will happen almost instantaneous. So you can go to the Tableau server TSM and you can make these changes and none of your users would even realize that something has changed in the background because there will be absolutely no downtime there. And along with that, you also do not need to restart your server for some of the other things. for example, any term extensions that you are applying. If you are making any changes on your user capacity, then you do not need your server to be restarted. And if you're adding new features also, even then, you may not need to restart your server because it will happen almost instantaneous. Right. Then the last feature that we wanted to talk about is the metrics. So you have the ability to look at your metrics, and this was already there, but starting from 2021.1 release, you have all these abilities right in front of you while you are navigating through a dashboard. So earlier, when you wanted to look at all the metrics that you are using on your dashboards, you were clicking on the metrics icon, the option that you have on Tableau Online at the top, Tableau site. And then it was popping up a window where it was having all the metrics listed. But going forward from 2021.1 release, you can see all those metrics on the right-hand side here while navigating through your dashboards. So this gives you an ability to be able to see what are the different metrics that you are using here. And you don't need to go to a separate window for that. And it also allows you to be able to create new metrics from here. So as you can see, we have an option of creating new metrics. So if you wanted to add a new metrics to your dashboard, you can do it from here and just click on create, and then it allows you to create new metrics from here as well. Okay. So those were some of the key features. We may have covered maybe 50% of the new features that have been introduced as part of 2021.1. There are some more, but I think what we wanted to cover is some of the main features. And if you wanted to look at some of the other features, please go to these websites, these URLs, tableau.com/product/new features. Or if you wanted to understand Tableau's release notes, you can always go to tableau.com/support/releases. That's another link that will be included here. And then if you wanted to understand what is coming up in 2021.2, which is coming up very soon, you can also go to the third URL, which has tableau.com/products/coming soon. So you can go to all these links, and then you can understand more additional features that Tableau is planning to include in next version. Okay, I think we covered a lot of these new features. And at this point, I'll pass it over to Adam to walk us through the Tableau dashboard hackathon that we are planning to include here.
Do we have any questions from anyone? Does anyone have anything they want to ask before we get into everything that we went over so far, or have comments? Just wanted to know, because we've been talking for a while. We'd like to hear from you as well, our user participants. So feel free to chat in the come off mute or chat in the box. Okay, thanks. Adam, you might be on mute.
No. Oh,
okay,
am I?
Go. Yeah,
oh, there I am.
You.
my question was zero downtime requires 2021.1 as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just because I wasn't sure if probably all the features require that. Yeah, because there are certain features where it'll be on server and a desktop could be almost any version, and some features where they have to be in sync.
Right. Yeah, you need to have 2021.1. Yep, you're right.
Okay. So yeah, if there are no other questions, we can start with the hackathon. So this is my first time. This is not only the group's first time having a hackathon, but my first time running one, or I should say co-running one, because I am one of the judges amongst the four of us, and I'm just really I came across the data set on Tableau public site, so obviously it's recommended by Tableau because it's a nice data set. I think 130 columns and not a ton of rows, so maybe deeper data than it is big data, so to speak. And interesting, something everyone's interested in. Secondary education system, lots of different levels: college, university, technical, and vocational. And there's a data dictionary for it, which is nice to have. I laugh because I always ask my clients, "Will you have a data dictionary or any documentation?" And it's rare, so maybe it's not a complete real-world hackathon, but it's always nice to have some context, especially when we're giving you, I think, is it 2 weeks or is it next week? I forget the deadline offhand.
1.5.
2 weeks, right?
What's
one
that?
and a half, like 1.5 weeks.
1.5 weeks. Okay, so yeah, data dictionary is definitely helpful in that case, but don't always expect it from your constituents who you work with. So yeah, you can use additional data to supplement. Just share the data link with us, and I think we're requesting that you publish it to Tableau Public. Is that right? And because the whole point of this is to encourage use of Tableau. So if you don't have a Tableau Public account, it's free, easy to create. Send the link to our email address, fairfieldctusergroup@outlook.com. You could send the package workbook file, but better just to do a Tableau Public link. And there is a prize. So the deadline, May 28th, 11:59. The prize, not only do you get to showcase your work at our next event, but you could win a gift card to get stuff, swag as it's called, on Tableau's website. So thank you to, I think, Manish, you arranged that, right?
Yep.
Or Alyssa.
Yeah,
both of you, you and Alyssa. Thank you very much for getting that, because of additional incentive. And I do have, somewhere I have a bunch of some Tableau pens. I have Tableau hats, shirts, good for pajamas for the kids, for those that have kids, or for significant other. So yeah, fun stuff on Tableau's website, and then bragging rights. You can always put it on your LinkedIn statement. So the problem statement, basically your use case: student or parent of the student looking to find the educational institutions that are ideal for our child or my own higher education. Key considerations are demographics, research or scholarship options, ranking in each of the different majors, areas of study, tuition fees, SAT and ACT score requirements, and proximity of the house. And actually, on the SAT and ACT score requirements, as I understand it, more universities are dropping those requirements. So lack of information there could mean no score required. So any questions on the problem statement, or the data set, or the deadlines, or the prizes? Okay. Quiet audience. Let's go to the next slide then, and we will talk about...
Adam, what I wanted to say before we do that, maybe it'd be helpful to just kind of give a better overview of a hackathon in general. Like, what is a hackathon? Are we computing with each other? Just like a high level overview, because just in case if someone's understanding what exactly is a hackathon.
Yeah, absolutely right. So hackathon, I mean, to some people it means locking yourself in a room and coding for 24 hours straight with a lot of other people. But of course, because of the pandemic, we can't do that. But you know, giving you a week and a half to explore the data set on your own, give us an example of some great Tableau work, and share what insights you find with us in a useful and engaging way. And there's some criteria following through with the problem statement. So, you know, stay focused on that. To some extent, you can cover this and then go to something else. But the scoring criteria on the next slide are key to consider for winning the prizes and the bragging rights. Oh, next slide. There we go. So design and layout. So is it clear and logical? Does it read well from top left to bottom right? Are the tooltips easy to read and understand? Is the navigation and interactivity clear, logical, and consistent? You know, do you need a lot of instructions on there? Or did you put it in a pop-up? Important information highlighted. Visuals clear of unnecessary components and visual effects. Choice of colors and formatting. You know, are we rubbing our eyes when we see too much Excel yellow, so to speak? Did you use a pie chart? Does the dashboard deliver an overall message or story, and does each viz contribute to that story? How effective and clear is the message? Is the visualization tailored to the right audience? How clear and understandable is it? And do end users need to work out stats or trends? And I have a funny graphic that goes with that. How are axes labeled clearly? Do you even need axes? Do they have familiar quantitative scales? Charts and graphs appropriate for the message. Or did you use a pie correctly based on data types? Valuable insight provided, any action items. So the whole point of visualization is, in the best case, is not just visualization for visualization's sake, as interesting as that could be, but what's the follow-up? What's the action and the insights? Insights and the actions. And then for bonus question simplification, as I said before, you know, no need for axes, all those little things that help us visualize under the concept of less ink I like to quote. This quote's been attributed to Mark Twain and others, but it was, I think, the earliest known reference of it was Blaise Pascal, the French mathematician, who said something to the effect of, "If I had had more time, I would have written less." So that's the bonus. And then also uniqueness of visuals or interactivity. So if you design something that has Vision Tooltip with a twist, with a parameter, something, make us say, aha, or hey, that looks interesting to keep in mind for future visualizations. That's what we're looking for in the bonus. Any questions there? And we'll have to socialize this to get more people. I think we had about 40 people registered. So thanks for attending. I think we had 11. We have 10 now. And although the judges can't go in, so we need at least a few of you to submit, so we have some good competition. So please, even if you only have a little bit of time, put something together. And if you can't get all the answers because you're new to Tableau, just tell us what you'd like to do, and we can grade you on that as well in consideration. And if anyone has questions, you can always feel free to contact that email address, reach out on LinkedIn to one of us. I'm happy to give someone some pointers as time allows in the next week and a half. Next slide. So our next event, should I just continue with this, or is this Maria's?
No, go ahead. Go on. You're reading.
Okay. So yeah, our next event. So this is part one. Part two is actually presenting what was done at the hackathon, and then data management. And is there one other thing? We might have a panel of speakers.
Yeah, we have panels of speakers at our next event. We're going to have a panel of speakers speaking.
Right.
Well,
so if you were forward, oh sorry, what's that? Yeah, we'll announce the winners of the hackathon. We'll have the panel of speakers about data management. If you were forwarded this Zoom link, please make sure to go to one of the URLs on the next page, sign up on our LinkedIn group, but then also usergroups.tableau.com/Fairfield County. I believe is our URL, whatever it is on the next slide.
Yeah, for the next, there you go.
Right, tab FC LinkedIn, and then usergroups.tableau.com/Fairfield County. You can reach out to any of us. We're on Twitter now. Thank you to, I think, Maria, you're monitoring that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of ways to stay connected, but definitely at a minimum, sign up to that mailing list on the top right. And then the top left for LinkedIn group, because we'll post there as well, just in case your email doesn't get something or other. Next slide. Right. So a group that Monish, Kathy, Maria, and I are also part of that's just getting started. They had their first event a few weeks ago, where Monish was one of the panelists about digital transformation. The Data and Analytics Leaders Network was something that grew out of the Stanford Partnership, which, for those that may not know, they co-host. They now host the Stanford Innovation Week. I was a speaker there last year, and a few people got together and said, "Hey, let's start an analytics networking group," and Monish and I are starting to kick that off with several other people at the CIO level. And this is typically for VP, CIO, other director level, but I think they're starting to open up now. We have about 80 LinkedIn members. We had, I think, 60 or so people on the last panel. I think the mailing list is like 200 people, so we're trying to get more people. So if you're interested, the LinkedIn group may not be accessible unless you get an invite. So if you'd like an invite, just reach out to one of us. Although I think Monish, you and I are the only ones that are moderators on that group. So anyway, tinyurl.com/analytics leaders, or reach out to one of us. I think our LinkedIn link is next as well. So yeah, good, interesting networking group. We're planning our next event, which will be a panel of people. Could be people ex-Forrester, ex-Gartner, giving a talk, or current Forrester or Gartner, depending on who we get. Or if you're interested in being a speaker, let us know, because we're looking to grow that group to be help people find jobs in Connecticut and greater Fairfield area, and then also teach people, let them know that you don't have to go to New York City or Boston, San Francisco to find great analytics practitioners. We're here. We're hiring Synchrony, Financial, Slalom, many other institutions. UConn has started a data science hub I think in the Fairfield as well as in Hartford. So there's lots of opportunity there, not only to network but continuing education, and really looking to help grow the region and the analytics front is their goal. So reach out if you're interested about that. Next slide. I think
that was the end.
Look at that. We saved you half an hour.
Well, it seems like we have some people that are starting to drop off. So we appreciate everyone who joined today. And again, looking forward to some submissions. And if, like Adam said, please feel free to reach out with questions. If you have some questions about the hackathon, or if you would just like some help or anything, just feel free to reach out to any one of us. And we're available on Twitter, LinkedIn, or direct emails. Okay, and we really appreciate you taking your time, and we hope to see you at the next meeting and hope to hear from you. Thank you again for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thanks, Sanjeev. Take care.
Thank you.